in this episode who will marry you. And let's get to know wedding officiant, celebrant, Daphne van der Boogaard.
Hi there, bridal couples to be.
Welcome to How to Get Married in Holland.
The ultimate wedding podcast of and about the Netherlands.
We, wedding ceremony experts, aka celebrants Daphne and Jasperin, share all ins and outs of getting married in our flat and fabulous country.
Enjoy listening.
So, hello, Daphne.
Hi
How
there.
are you?
Yes, I'm fine.
So today we're going to talk about you.
Yeah. Oh, that's new because as a celebrant and wedding officiant, you want to know and to learn all about your couple. So I'm not very used to being in the limelight, but here we go.
Well, there you go. So first question of also is tell me about yourself. Tell me about, your family, who you are. Shoot.
Yeah, shoot. Well, I'm Daphne van den Boogaard, wedding celebrant, wedding officiant, wedding register, you name it. I listen to it. In Dutch, it's called buitengewoon ambtenaar, burgerlijke stand. And it's shortened for Babs.
Yeah.
So sometimes people call me Babs. I also listen to Babs. It's all fine by me, as long as I can help couples celebrate their love for each other, but also for their friends and guests. This is very important, I think, within a wedding ceremony. But I live in the north of the Netherlands, together with my family, happily married with Richard, my husband, and I live together with, our two teens, a daughter and a son, and our dog Pepper.
Yeah.
And I always hope he will be quiet when we are
We
doing
may
our
hear him, right?
recordings. But if you hear something in the background, it might just be him.
It will be
Our
him.
black beauty on four paws. So, and I live in a village which is surrounded by greens, very near to the beach and the forest. So we have lovely nature surrounding us, and I love to go on hikes together with Pepper, of course. I love to row, visit the theater. I'm addicted to movies, stories in general. I think love to read, and do some yoga now and then. And I love to hang out with friends, but also treasure some alone time now and then. And very happy.
Well, there you go. Very important, very happy. And now you were talking about your work as a wedding officiant or celebrant. Have you always done this?
I believe so, because when I was little, I always wanted to become an actress or a presenter, or a journalist. And later on, when I grew up, I wanted to study psychology. But I ended up studying communications.
Okay.
And worked in marketing communications agencies, as well as very big corporate companies. And I always did tasks like presenting, training other people, writing, really tuning into target groups, because it was in a commercial surrounding, of course. But one time, me and Richard were guests at a wedding.
Yeah.
And it was quite boring.
Okay.
And I'm very intuitive, and I'm very sensitive to the vibe in a room. And I felt everyone was checking out.
Right.
They were looking at their watch, they were yawning, they were getting restless at their seats. And I felt somehow the need to take over. Not in an arrogant kind of way, but in a will to want to give the couple, what I thought they deserved the most, a wonderful ceremony.
And that was one of those moments in life that you thought, hey.
Yeah. And it was thanks to Richard, my husband, because he said to me, "Well, this is something for you."
Yeah.
And I said, "Well, yeah, could be." But I
Ah,
was still busy with my job,
yeah.
and the children were quite young at the
Mhm.
time.
Mhm.
But that was a little seed planted
Yeah.
almost,
Yeah.
and it grew within the years.
Mhm.
So at one time, I saw an advertisement from the municipality,
Yeah.
and I called them, but they had so many people who were interested. So
Oh,
I was on the list.
okay.
But I called them every month and say, "Hi, it's me again,"
Oh,
because
right.
I wanted so much
Good
to
for
be a
you.
wedding
Yes.
celebrant.
Yes.
And at one time, it was New Year's Eve, and the day after is always a reception of the
Mhm.
municipality.
Okay.
So I went to visit that reception and went up to the mayor and gave him my resume and said, "Hi, I'm Daphne, and I love to be a wedding officiant." And
Oh,
well, a week later, I had an interview, and they asked me very funny question if I could share something about barbecuing. So I had to improvise on the spot.
okay.
But I'm an improv player, so that was luckily no problem.
Uh-huh.
So I shared all things about meat and sausage and grill methods
Hmm.
and so on.
They were testing you.
They were testing me, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. But it was the most fun interview I ever had. And 1.5 hours later, I was a wedding
Oh,
officiant.
that's so nice to hear. So you chased your dream and you got
Yeah,
there. You got
yeah,
what you wanted.
yeah, yeah,
But
I
now you're
did.
independent as well.
Yes, I am. Yeah, I work both for the municipality within
Mhm.
a certain area,
Yes.
and outside that area, I'm an independent wedding officiant. So, a
Okay.
bridal couple who wants a more bespoke
Mhm.
ceremony,
Mhm.
fully tailor made to their wishes,
Mhm.
yeah, they can.
And can you
Yeah,
do that? Will you do that anywhere?
yes, anywhere, even abroad. Yeah,
Okay. You
I
travel
went to
abroad as well.
Hungary, the UK, France.
Mhm.
Yeah, I traveled with the bridal couple and
Okay.
their guests to conduct the ceremony over there.
Okay. And if you have to, I mean, you travel places, you go anywhere a couple want. Is there a, do you focus on specific couples? Do you have a specialty? Um, what, yeah.
Well, I think, um, you know, there must be a connection, of course, between the me being the celebrant and the bridal couple, because
Hmm.
the wedding ceremony is the start of their marriage.
Yeah.
And I would like to make that the most strong start I
Hmm.
can. Of course,
Mm.
I cannot guarantee a happy marriage, but I sure
No.
can make sure that the start is very strong
Yeah.
and very special beginning of the wedding itself also,
Hmm.
because the time when the guests arrive and they see the couple, uh, the first element of the whole wedding schedule most of the time is the wedding ceremony.
Yes.
So I think my specialty is to give that a very festive kickoff of the wedding.
Mm.
So everyone is warmed up to, well, get the party started, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm the kind of celebrant who likes a very light-hearted vibe,
Yeah.
very vivid.
Hmm.
I love to create some interaction
Yeah.
with both the couple as well as their guests, because I
Hmm.
think inclusivity and make them feel seen and heard and involved in the
Yes.
ceremony is very important.
Hmm.
So I'm not so much a very formal or stiff celebrant, and
Mm.
the kind of lady speaker
Mm.
who gets there all full authority and everyone needs to sit quiet and be
Yes.
quiet and listen.
Yes.
No, I really want to make it a feeling of togetherness.
Yeah.
And I think the kind of couples who feel attracted to my
Yeah.
wedding style are the kind of couple who are very conscious in the way they live their life. They have a
Hmm.
really zest for life.
Hmm.
Most of the time, they're entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Um, and most of the time, one of them comes from abroad.
Hmm.
So one of them is Dutch and the other one comes
Hmm.
from anywhere in the world.
Hmm. Hmm.
Or they're both expats
Right.
living here, and they would like an English ceremony.
Mm.
And I do also the warm welcome and the wedding vows or the wedding questions in other languages, but
Yes.
sometimes I need to practice a little bit more. So last week I did a ceremony with a few words in Italian.
Nice.
But then I practice with the bride,
Yes.
and then I'm good to go. But a full speech in English and or in Dutch is no problem.
So
And
for you, it's all about getting people involved, making them feel welcome.
yeah, make them feel welcome and to celebrate love.
Hmm.
Like I said, not only between the couple, but also their love for their family and friends. Because I think, of course, a wedding is a very festive
Yeah.
occasion, but it's also
Hmm.
a chance to deepen your love for
Hmm.
one another, but
Hmm.
also to strengthen your family bonds, to
Hmm.
deepen your friendships.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
if a bridal couple is willing to take that chance and to really dare to go on that emotional level
Yeah.
of a wedding ceremony, yeah, that makes me very happy.
Hmm. Do you find it difficult to actually get to dive into their lives?
No, because I must admit, in all honesty, I'm very curious.
Okay.
So I love to learn all about people's lives.
Hmm.
But again, if you feel that connection with one another, there's also a certain level of trust.
Yeah.
So they feel at ease
Hmm.
in sharing their personal details with me.
Hmm.
And I always ask if there's something I need to take into consideration.
Yes.
Are there any sensitivities perhaps
Mm.
within their love story
Mm.
or within their family,
Hmm.
perhaps?
Hmm.
Could be. So I will make them really feel at ease so they can enjoy listening to my speech during the wedding ceremony.
Mm.
And if there's something, some challenges they have experienced during their love history together,
Hmm.
I talk with them how we can make it a complete story
Yeah.
because I want to respect all of their memories and experiences, but not to focus on pain or
Mm.
problems. But yeah, then I will search for a metaphor, for example,
Yeah.
so everyone knows what I'm talking about, and
Yeah.
the story is complete,
Yeah.
and it really intensifies, yeah, the relationship.
So you have a way with words to say things in your
Yeah,
way. You don't, you don't, how would I say, you say things that need to be said
yeah, yeah.
in a special way.
In a
So
special way,
mm.
in a way everyone feels seen and heard.
Yeah.
Yeah, they feel, oh yeah, that this is us. This is
Mm.
really us.
Mm.
And when I see that
That's your goal.
that spark, yeah, that spark of recognition, and sometimes even inspiring insights, because yeah, like I said, I'm very intuitive, so
Hmm.
I almost read between the lines. Sometimes I surprise my couples. After the ceremony they say, well, you've said it like this and we never saw it this way, but that's really true.
Mm.
So I
Oh,
love to
that's
give them
nice.
some inspiration, and
Mm.
also their guests, of
Mm.
course.
Mm.
So I was once called a minister of love, and I
Well, there
think
you
that
go.
that is a nice description. Yeah,
I think that's a very, very nice description.
yeah,
It's all about love in the end, isn't it?
it is. It is.
So, can you tell me about your ideal couple? Do you have an ideal couple?
Uh, yeah, the ideal couple is the couple you have that certain vibe with,
Hmm.
and you almost feel like you known each other for years,
Hmm.
friends even.
Hmm.
But if you have that vibe together,
Yeah.
you can really roll, and in the preparations, so that even the preparations are a party in itself.
Hmm.
At least I
Yeah.
like to make sure to
Hmm. Hmm.
with sweets when we get to know each other, baked by my daughter. So
Ah,
credits to her.
there you go.
Um, but also people who are willing to share their emotions,
Hmm.
and really want to touch that deeper level
Mm.
within their love story. So it's
Mm.
not just me sharing their love history,
Hmm.
like they lived here and they
Yeah.
moved there
Yeah.
and these are their hobbies, because of course that's all true, but
You
there
go
are,
deeper.
yeah, that are all things everyone knows already.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I like to dive a little bit deeper,
Mm.
indeed. And I also have a quite journalistic approach.
Right.
So I always warn my couples beforehand, because I give them a lot of homework. I ask
Okay.
a lot of questions.
And do they have to
So
prepare that at home, or does it
yes,
go during your talk?
both ways,
Okay.
because once they have prepared the questions at home,
Hmm.
they have all the ease and time for them to let the questions sink in,
Right.
because they're not your everyday questions.
Yes.
And when they get to think about it, and when we meet up to brainstorm about the design of their
Hmm.
ceremony,
Hmm.
then we dive deeper together.
Okay.
And that's when I get all those precious memories, cute anecdotes,
Right.
great examples to make the story even more vivid.
Right.
And I do take love to take different angles.
Hmm.
So if they want to be surprised, if they're willing to be surprised
Yeah.
within, of course, that circle of trust between us,
Yeah.
then I also ask questions to both partners, and they must be able to keep it a secret, their
Yeah.
answers for each
Yeah.
other.
Oh,
So
that's
it's
a
like
nice
a
idea.
present they can unwrap during the ceremony,
Hmm.
and that always makes for a lot of laughter, and
Yes.
yeah, also some tears, perhaps. But
Hmm.
yeah,
It's all about emotions, huh?
yeah, it
Hmm.
is.
Um.
Uh,
So, Daphne, are there any couples that you have on your wish list, or type of weddings that are on your wish list?
ooh, um, well, not certain couples, because
Hmm.
I have to meet them, of
Mm.
course,
Yep.
and if I'm available on a certain date, because
Hmm.
I choose to conduct one wedding ceremony per day, to give my couples all my energy and
Yes.
devotion and attention
Mm.
and focus.
Mm.
So if I'm available and we have that vibe, that match, that connection, um, yeah, then I think they're all my ideal couple.
Mm.
Uh, but as for certain weddings, well, I'd love to do a wedding in Ibiza.
Okay.
That's on
Fair
my wish
enough.
list.
I can
Uh,
understand that.
and in a hot air balloon,
Oh,
I
wow.
think that would be magical.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
Interesting.
willing to go all the way up.
Uh-huh.
Um, yeah, that would be quite adventurous.
Would you
Um,
do anything? So, suppose if a couple would say, we want to do scuba diving wedding. You see that sometimes in the newspaper.
uh, if I take lessons, but well,
Okay.
I'll do uh, many things,
Uh-huh.
because I'm quite up for spontaneous things
Yeah.
and adventures, and yeah, but not everything, because I live near the beach, and I conduct many wedding ceremonies at the beach.
Hmm.
And I was once asked by a couple who wanted to do their wedding on a nude beach,
Oh, right.
and they wanted to be me nude as well.
Uh-huh.
And I thought about it, but because I love to go to the sauna, and I have no problems with nudity, but uh, to be talking for a
Yeah.
group
Mm.
in your Eve costume,
Yeah.
well, that was a no go for
That
me.
was a no-go.
No. And I
Mm.
once met a couple. He was an elderly man,
Hmm.
and he was marrying a young woman. And there
Right.
was a 60-year age difference between the two of them.
60.
60.
That's quite a lot.
Yeah. And I'm not to
So 20
judge.
and 80, for
Yeah.
example.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It was.
Okay.
And I'm not to judge, and I think love is love.
Hmm.
But I had a certain knot in my stomach, and
Mm.
I really have learned during the years to listen to my intuition,
Yeah.
and I felt something's wrong here. I don't know
Right.
what it is, but it doesn't add up to me.
Right.
I didn't see the vibe. I didn't feel the love.
Hmm.
So I was very respectful, but also
Okay.
very friendly, saying, I don't think we are the best match.
Okay.
So I would love to recommend one of my colleagues to you.
Right.
And then it turned out there was a hidden camera, and I was on a TV show, and it was all a
Okay.
big joke. So
Oh,
afterwards, I was very happy that I listened to that gut
yes.
feeling.
Yes.
But I think that's one of the few moments that I said no to a
Mhm.
couple.
Mm.
But yeah,
But I think it's important to be honest. If it doesn't feel
yes,
right,
yeah,
you can always say it as long as it is in a respectful way. And you did.
yes,
So,
yes, yeah,
mm,
yeah. It was
yes.
quite an experience.
Oh, it must have been. You must have
Yeah,
laughed about it, all of you
yeah,
together
yeah.
afterwards as
Afterwards, yeah.
well. Because maybe they were very surprised by you saying no.
Yes, they were.
Well,
Yeah,
there you go.
yeah, yeah,
Good for you. Good for
yeah.
you.
Thank
Um,
you.
we have so many. You make so many memories during a wedding ceremony, and can you share a few great memories that you actually made over the last few years?
Yeah.
Special weddings.
Well, indeed, well, special locations, of
Mm.
course,
Mm.
private gardens, islands,
Okay.
in the middle of the forest, castles, the most beautiful venues
Hmm.
you get to visit as a celebrant.
And out
And
of out of all these special locations and special
well,
couples, do you have any specific weddings that you want to share?
yeah, I once had a wedding ceremony on an island,
Hmm.
and all the guests had to come by ferry.
Okay.
And one of the witnesses was supposed to bring the rings, and he left
Right.
them in his car. So
Okay.
when we were in the ceremony, up to the point when it was time for the couple to express their vows,
Yes.
and afterwards seal their vow with their rings,
Hmm.
there were no rings.
Oh dear.
But the ring was uh, well, her ring was from his great grandmother,
Uh huh.
and it has special meaning to
Yeah.
them. And they
Sure.
had coupled their vows to the rings, so they wanted to express ring vows.
Okay.
So I asked them, well, what would you like to do? Because there were guests, taking their own rings off. Here, use mine,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it didn't feel right to them.
Yes. Uh huh.
So they did very much want to have their own rings or that
Right.
special rings. So we paused the ceremony, and
Okay.
the witness went back in a rush to get the rings.
On the ferry,
Yeah, on the ferry, it was like 10 minutes forth,
to
back
and
and
from.
forth,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
so it was a 20-minute gap.
Okay.
And I wanted to prevent the atmosphere from sinking
Yeah.
in because we had such a vibe going on with each
Yes.
other.
Of course.
So I needed to improvise,
Hmm.
and I
What did
started
you do?
to walk around with my mic and ask people questions. So I did the groom change after he met the bride, and
Okay.
and so on, and what makes them a strong couple,
Uh
and
huh.
how are they different from one another, and such great stories came up from
So you were
everyone.
connecting all the
Yeah,
time.
yeah, yeah. And it was, well, I think most of the memorable weddings I have ever, yeah, conducted. So it's, yeah,
I,
that was a
I, I
beautiful,
totally understand. I think that must have been amazing.
it was a party.
Very valuable as well.
Yeah,
Fun and valuable.
it was. Yeah.
Huh.
And I also, last week, I did a wedding, for a very young couple.
Hmm.
And they asked me to do something very special. I got the honor to announce they were expecting, and
Okay.
well, the crowd went crazy, and celebrating in between, even before they said their I do's. So it was very, yeah, a double celebration really. So that was very special too.
Isn't that
Um,
amazing that they confide in you so
yeah,
much that
yeah,
they want you to share that news on that
yeah,
particular moment? It
yeah.
all
That's a real
adds
honor.
to, yeah,
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 because you feel the trust, and you get to walk with them on their life
yeah,
path
yeah,
really, and
yeah.
you help them create new memories, and I
Mm-hmm.
think that's the most special part
Mm. Mm.
of our job. And to me, it doesn't feel like a job, because I think even when I would win the lottery, I would still be doing this, because I love to be a celebrant.
Well, the way you say that, I think would convince any couple to give you a ring, because, when you talk about that, it does make you shine.
Thanks.
It's a fabulous job, isn't it?
It is, yeah, and I'm very grateful. Yeah.
Mm. So anyone interested in getting married with Daphne, I would say check out this episode again, read the show notes, and we really hope to see you again on our next episode. I would say, Daphne, until next time.
Until next time, bye
Bye.
bye.
Thanks for listening to How to Get Married in Holland.
We look forward to share more about organizing your wedding day in the Netherlands in the next episode.
Hit the subscribe button so you won't miss anything.
Any questions in the meantime?
Please ask wedding celebrants Daphne or Jasperin. You can find us, plus the show notes, on Instagram.
And if you love this podcast, please leave a review.
It gives us a higher ranking, so more fun international couples with Dutch wedding plans will be able to find us.
Until next time.